Tonight, Dispatches goes undercover to investigate one of Britain's least loved and fastest growing industries, the debt collection business.
We've got them by the bollocks. We own 17.5 grand's worth of that house and getting bigger each day.
Today, it's estimated that there are over 20,000 debt collectors across the country, chasing £20 billion worth of problem debts.
You know, he's not paid since there.
Yeah.
So I kind of figure that if his baby's died, it's a load of old bull.
David Lloyd and his wife Annette were a careful couple who always paid their way and hated being in debt. When they took out a £4,000 loan with the Halifax, partly to pay for their daughter's wedding, they also took out a payment protection plan. Then 3 years ago, David was diagnosed with terminal lung cancer and could no longer work. Realising they would not be able to keep up repayments on the loan, David and Annette let the Halifax know straight away that they could resume repayments once the insurance policy kicked in. How did the bank respond? With 762 phone calls over the next 7 months to both them and their daughter.
I could see David deteriorating. I'd been to the local shops and the phone had been ringing. And David was sat in the driving seat of the car and he said to me, I cannot stand the ringing of the phone anymore. He said, I'm going to drive the car through the Halifax branch's window. He said, and if it kills me, I'm dying anyway. He said, well, then they'll stop ringing you and they might listen to what you're saying.
But the calls kept coming, up to 6 times a day, and even when David was in the hospital and close to death.
He told me that they didn't know whether he was going to live through the night. But she says to me, go home, and if he deteriorates, I'll phone you. So I was waiting for the phone call all night, and I got up to go to the hospital. And I was just going out, and the phone rang, and I thought, oh my God. And I picked the phone up, it was the bank, and she says to me, I'm really sorry to hear that, but can I remind you of the responsibility to pay the bank? Which credit card are you going to use?
The couple obtained an undertaking from the Halifax to stop the calls, but they still came. Until last December, when the bank was found to be in contempt of court and ordered to apologise. 2 months later, David Lloyd was dead. A few weeks after, his widow Annette accepted an out-of-court settlement for the harassment from the Halifax. When the Lloyds fell into arrears, the Halifax chased their debt direct, but increasingly, in recession-hit Britain, it's not the original creditor who comes to collect. Remember the good times when the banks encouraged everyone to borrow for cars, homes, holidays, and all on their credit cards. Well, now it's the bad times, and many of those who did borrow are struggling to pay the money back. It used to be that if you missed a repayment, the bank or credit card company would collect direct. Often banks knew their customers personally. Now all that has changed, and if you do default on your loan, it's highly likely that your bad debt will have been sold to a collection agency, probably one you've never heard of, which then makes its profit by making sure that you repay the loan to them in full. This fast-growing, multi-billion-pound business is now causing problems for families across the country.
The debt collectors make you feel really bad about yourself. You know, it's like they're trained to really make you feel embarrassed, intimidated.
Of course, people are obliged to pay their debts, but who regulates the industry that collects them? To get a licence, debt collectors have to agree to abide by guidelines published by the government's Office of Fair Trading, the OFT, which aims to prevent unfair practice. Their guidance makes it clear debt collectors should abide by its spirit as well as the letter. Many also subscribe to the code of practice of their trade body, the Credit Services Association. According to counsellors who help people manage their debts, the guidelines are sometimes being ignored.
We've come to the stage where, in a significant number of cases, there are firms that are operating arguably almost out of control, and the pressures on them to collect have meant that guidance has simply gone out of the window.
When we talked to experienced debt advisors, one of the names that kept coming up was Marlin Financial Services. It is one of a number of debt collection agencies that consumers are actively complaining about around the country. We asked reporter Tom Randall to get a job there so he could investigate by filming undercover.
Ground floor, doors open.
My first day on the job here at Marlin, a company that started in a front room in Wimbledon and now has its headquarters in this former tax office in Worthing. It collects on over £600 million worth of debts. It's a member of the Debt Collectors Trade Association. Marlin collects debts originally owned by top banks, including HSBC, Yorkshire and Clydesdale, and Lloyds. It also collects on debts it's bought from car finance firms, high street chains, and credit cards, even RSPCA's MasterCard.
I'm here to see Cheryl.
Your name is?
Tom Randall. Thank you. Cheers. Hey, you alright? Hey.
Alright.
Yeah, good, cheers.
Follow me.
Cool.
I've been told I'm going to be trained at the Marlin Academy. It looks like they take training seriously.
Cheers. How come I'm the only one today then?
Well, we offered just you and one other person, and the other person got offered another position on the same day, so just unfortunate that...
Over the course of 3 days, I was introduced to what they call the Marlin way.
We've got some values, values and beliefs. Loyalty, honesty, integrity and respect are the core of who we are. These will not change.
I was told I should be polite, refer to debtors as customers, and treat them with respect. Like many agencies, Marlin's collectors get paid in part by results. So I asked about the bottom line.
All you've got to always just think about is I'm here to collect money. Everybody in this company is here to collect money. The more money you collect, the more bonus you get as well.
So how do you do that within the OFT guidelines? Cheryl went through them, teaching me how Marlin expects its staff to comply.
We cannot pressurise debtors to sell property or to raise funds by further borrowing or to extend their borrowing. So we can't say to people, well, why don't you go and get a personal loan and pay us off? But what if they ask...
That seems pretty straightforward, but it's not. It seemed to me I could say one thing, whilst leaving it open for debtors to come away with a different impression.
If they said, well, how do you expect me to pay this off? We can say something along the lines of, well, others have found that they've been able to get some money through their mortgage. Some people have borrowed money. So you can say this is what you could do, but you can't say, well, this is what I recommend that you do.
Compliance at Marlin also means avoiding explicitly pressuring debtors. The choice of language is all important.
We would never turn around to say, someone, we're going to make you bankrupt, or we're going to make claim our money against your house or something like that. We can never say that's what we are going to do. We may do it.
All right.
It's always may. What may happen is X, Y, Z.
Later, she told me about Marlin's top collector, who brings in more money for the firm than anyone else.
He's pretty good. Sometimes maybe uses stuff that perhaps wouldn't want to be used, but he collects the money. So we maybe let him, we've got to keep our reins on Mark. So I would never say copy everything he does. In fact, I'm probably the last person, but he is good because he's assertive. He knows what he wants to get, and he's passionate, and that's what's great about Mark.
5 weeks later, when I was shadowing Mark, he gave me his own masterclass in debt collection.
And it's the easiest way I can explain collections to you. It's pantomime. It's all act, right? Depending on how well you act on the phone, will steer that account. And as a collector, they can't see you down the phone. They don't know you. They know all about you. The only thing they know about you is what you tell them. What you give them on the phone tells them what you are. If you pick up the phone going, all right, mate, who are you on the phone? I'll tell you who you are. You're a wanker. Yeah? You're a wanker. You shouldn't be in that job. If you pick up the phone and you sound professional and you act professional and you're informative, you're calm, you're collected, you're together, you've got my respect. I'm going to pay you my money each month now. I'm not going to make a muggy arrangement I'm not going to keep you because I now respect you.
So what does Mark think about having to say we may make you bankrupt instead of we will make you bankrupt? Not much, it seems.
Well, not being funny, if you phone me up and tell me someone may do something to me, until you phone me up and tell me someone is, or give me the insinuation something is, up your jumper, mate, yeah? I'm going out pissing it up on your money.
After 3 days in Marlin's classroom, I was sent out onto the collection floor to get on-the-job training working alongside Darren, another of the company's successful collectors.
If they call in and say, look, I can offer you 50 quid a month.
Who does?
Blah, blah, blah. You say, oh, I'll take in your circumstances. Let me have a look, see if I can get it authorised. OK, let me see. I was going to put you on hold, see if I can sort that out for you. Put them on hold. OK, then we work out this thing here. You'd be surprised how much more money you can get out of people.
But actually, Darren doesn't get anything authorised. He just creates the impression that he consults with someone else at Marlin who makes